All right. Good morning, everybody. So glad that you are awake and you're getting after it today. And man, let me know. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, what time it is in your place of the world, and don't judge me right now. This is half calf coffee. Okay, half calf. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Half calf sounds like half a cow, but this is half caffeine coffee is something that I am onto. Here's why. Because I went 21 days with no caffeine, like from coffee, and whoo, it was brutal the first few days. It was like oh, y'all see Lucy? Y'all see Lucy? Say what's up, Lou? That's Lucy. That's my assistant. She's always taking notes and everything for me. But anyways, I've been doing I fasted for 21 days from coffee in the morning and any caffeine from coffee. I try to have no caffeine until around 11 a.m. every day when I was doing that fast. And man, it was beautiful. What God showed me during that time was awesome. Here's what he showed me. I was addicted to caffeine. You know what I'm saying? I was addicted. Oh, my mother-in-law giving me a shout out all the way from Abilene, Texas. What up, T? Oh, man, it's good to see you on here. And then we've got another user on here from Georgetown, Tennessee. Georgetown, dude, who are you? You're just a Facebook user. I want to know who you are from Georgetown, Tennessee. If you're watching on Instagram, let's see what's happening on the Instagram world. We got Troy on there, faithful Troy, my man. We've got, let's see, AK Ash 45758. I feel like that's a bot. I feel like you're not real, AK Ash 45758. Seth Phipps, not a bot, real life, preacher man, pastor, the man, Seth Phipps. The dude can preach. Seth, man, I love that I can now watch your live streams of you preaching, man. That's so good. Anyways, don't judge me for my half calf coffee, okay? Because, dude, caffeine, I was addicted. You know what? And I probably still am addicted. And so now in the morning, I have I try to have just water right when I wake up. And that's brutal, by the way, because I get up kind of early and then I'm used to having coffee where I can just go. Like then it's like go time. And now not that go is a little harder to hit that run early in the morning. But I'm enjoying the half calf coffee. I don't feel as crazy. And I've been sleeping much better off of it. But anyways, y'all didn't come here to hear about coffee. Maybe you did. Anyways, I love the comments, man. Tell me what's going on. Give someone a shout out. Just tell me all the things. And if you watched my last live with Andrea, holy smokes, that live, if you haven't watched it, I want to encourage you to go to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching this on something else besides YouTube, go watch this on YouTube. Please, okay? I have a goal of 1,000 subscribers, and I have a goal of being monetized on YouTube, and I got a ways to go. So I need y'all who are watching on all the other platforms to make the switch and to head over to YouTube for me. So let's see here. Today, man, I want to talk about depression. I want to talk about depression, which is I have depression. I was diagnosed with depression in 2019, and that is what it is. But the cool thing is with it, you can diagnose somebody with something, but that doesn't mean that is who you are. Wendy Kerr, good to see you on here commenting. Thank you so much. And I love that you're on Facebook, Wendy. Head over to YouTube and subscribe. Come on now, girl. You know, your girl Andrea was fire on that live. Man, there's so many things in my head that I just want to talk about. There's so many things. Let me go back to my live on this past week. If you have not watched that live, you need to go watch it. We talked about some real stuff. We talked about divorce. We talked about being a single mom. I'm obviously not a single mom. I know it's 2024 and like, oh, you can be whatever. I'm definitely a male person and I'm a husband and I'm not single, and I got 4 kids, a dog, and some koi fish. But we talked about that. We talked about divorce. We talked about church hurt. We talked about a lot of things. We talked about alcohol. We talked about rehab, and it was just real. It was good stuff. It rubbed some people the wrong way, and that's okay. That's okay. You know what? And I've had some great friends reach out and say, man, that was hard to hear. And here's some things I would think about next time. And I love it. I love that true people are willing to say, man, that kind of bothered me. I didn't like that. I didn't agree with that. And that's okay. We're not going to agree with everything. We're just not. Like, we're always not going to agree, period. My wife and I don't agree on everything. Typically I'm right, but we don't agree on everything, and that's okay. And it's all good. It's all good. We all have different paths. We all have different stuff. Cliff Green, man, good to see you, bud. Wow, this is fun. Y'all on here commenting on the Facebook world. But today, I want to focus on depression. What does depression look like? Well, you're looking at it. What does depression look like? Right here. How y'all doing? It is. But when someone says, man, I have depression, or I was diagnosed with depression, me too. Diagnosed with anxiety, me too. Complex PTSD, all the things. All right, and you're looking at somebody who got the diagnosis and got the stuff. Tammy says she doesn't know how to comment on YouTube. Okay, Tammy, I hear you. I hear you in Cleveland. You calling out where I live. People are going to come and get me in my basement. Man, good to see you, Tammy. I don't know how to help you on YouTube right now, but I'll look into that. So, with depression, just because you've been maybe diagnosed with depression, or maybe you've been diagnosed with anxiety, that doesn't mean that's who you are. That just means that's what's going on. And there's 3 things right now, and I don't know if you're taking notes or you can write it down later, but there's 3 things that about depression that nobody's talking about. No one's talking about these 3 things when it comes to depression. Okay, the first thing is with depression. The first thing is you don't need a reason to be depressed. You don't need a reason to be depressed. Sometimes we look for a reason that is traumatic or upsetting that has happened. You don't need a reason. So sometimes people are like, well, you know, I don't have a reason to be depressed. And then you start thinking like, well, man, am I depressed? Well, I don't know. I don't know. If we talked and you were in one of my clients, I feel like we could figure that out. But depression is just, man, it's I'm gonna give some what it can look like here in a second. But there's 3 things that no one is talking about. The first is you don't need a reason to be depressed. The second is depression is not just an increase in sadness. Sometimes it's more the absence of other emotions like joy, hope, and excitement. So depression is not just an increase in sadness. Sometimes it's just, I mean, you're not, the other things aren't there, and you feel stuck, and you're just like, I just can't get going. That's depression. Number 3 things about depression no one's talking about. Depression just doesn't switch off. Okay, a lot of people, I always say a lot of people. I don't know if that's true. A few people. We're gonna say a few people. A few people would say, you know, you can just suck it up, just get over it, just pray about it, just all these things. And that sounds really good for the superhumans who never have emotions and feelings. But what about those who are seriously depressed and you're in it right now? And I know that there's some people that are watching this that is where you're at, or maybe you have a loved one who is just so down and depressed and they can't get out of bed, or they're just maybe a high functioning and they're depressed and they're still functioning really highly, but things in their life are showing that, man, they are struggling. Here's the thing with depression: recovery is gradual. It includes both good days and bad days. So some of the clients that I work with as I'm doing this Christian life coaching has been amazing. And here's what I'm seeing. As we have started, we're in month 2 with a lot of them, 2 of 3. As we started out, man, they were feeling it. They were doing good. And yesterday I talked to 2 of my clients, and they were both like, man, this has been a hard week. This has been a hard week. And they felt like, man, I'm going backwards. And you're not going backwards just because you have a bad day and you feel like you're back in your depressed thought. Here's the thing: the enemy wants you to feel like you're going backwards. The enemy wants you to feel like a failure. The enemy, who is real, wants to get up in your mind and tell you, oh, here we go again. You're back in the spiral of depression, and you're not. Andrea, good to see you on here. Again, if you have not watched the live with me and Andrea from the other day, go now to my YouTube channel, subscribe and like it, and watch that video, please. So good. Andrea is coming back on in February, and I'm excited. So remember this. Remember this about any sort of anything that we're in. 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Some days you feel like, man, I'm 1 step back, but you've made 2 steps forward. That 1 step back's not going to mess you up. And I was just talking to my therapist last week about this, of how I just feel. My biggest fear is this. I'm going to tell you one of my biggest fears is that when I get depressed and I get sad and I get all the things, that I am going to spiral out of control and head back into this this spot where I didn't want to live. You know what that's called. I got to be careful because YouTube and all the things shut me up when I say certain words. And that's not the truth of when I'm there. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay. Depression is, the recovery is gradual. Recovery is gradual. You're gonna have good days and bad days. And if anybody is watching this and you've got a loved one who you feel like, man, there's more bad days than good days, you might be right. And I would encourage you to reach out to somebody. You can reach out to me. It's something that I work with my clients on. I cannot fix depression. I'm just telling you right now. I can't fix depression. I can't fix people's past and their trauma. I can't fix trauma. I can't fix anxiety. I can fix none of that stuff. But I can help somebody to take the steps. That's the name of my business, Next Step Coach. I can help somebody take the steps to get out of it. And if you know somebody or you're in this spot and you'd like to talk about how I can help you in the next 90 days, because I believe it takes 90 days. I really do. Or more or less, but about 90 days. And man, you're going to see drastic improvement in your life. Just let me know, send me a message, and we can help make that happen. And if you're dealing with something, or somebody's dealing with something that is above me, man, I would love to refer you. I've got somebody who reached out, and I refer them to somebody to get them the help that they need. So here's what depression can look like. There's a lot of different ways that it can show up. One of those is, I guess it's the quote common one, is persistent sadness. Persistent sadness. Lack of interest in activities that you once enjoyed. Man, I know that was me quite a bit. Change in appetite or sleep patterns. Feelings of worthlessness or excessive guilt. Excessive guilt can actually cause you to feel worthless. Difficulty concentrating. Thoughts of death or suicide. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Let me just read those again. Depression can show up in many different ways. Persistent sadness, lack of interest in activities that you once loved, change in your appetite or sleep patterns, feeling of worthlessness or excessive guilt, difficulty concentrating, thoughts of death, inability or like you do not want to get out of bed, you don't want to do anything. And here's the thing about depression. It is just like anything else. It is just like a pimple. You're like, Michael, how is it like a pimple? Well, hang with me. How is depression like a pimple? That's what I should title this video. That'll get some views. Depression is like a pimple, and all the people like, you're not a therapist, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, I'm just curious if your therapist has walked through some of the stuff that I have walked through, or they just get a degree in it. Because my therapist is amazing, and she has walked through the things that I've walked through. It is awesome. It is incredible to talk to her about stuff. She helps me like crazy. So depression is like anything else. It's like a pimple. Oh gosh, it's like diarrhea. Like it Here's what I mean by that. What does that mean, Michael? Why are you saying depression is like diarrhea? Oh my gosh. Old dermatologist Jordan Wells commenting on here. Here's what I mean when I say that. It shows that you have something going on. It shows that you have something going on. So depression is showing that something is going on. But what happens at times with depression or these emotions, especially in men, we're like, I'm not feeling that, not dealing with that. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. I'm gonna work really hard. I'm gonna make a lot of money. I'm gonna just be a jerk to my family. I'm going to or opposite. You're gonna act like everything is great. You're gonna work really hard. You're gonna be all the things. You're gonna be Superman, and really underneath all of that, you know that there's something going on. You know what it is, or you don't know what it is, but you feel like something is going on. And just remember that depression is showing that something is going on. And I want to show you this. I want to share my screen with you. I want to show you this wheel right here. This is the impact of anxiety, and what I want to point out to you that is really significant is that when you're able to put words on what you are feeling, man, it's a game changer. So there's you see the impact of anxiety, what it does to your body. And by the way, this all gets to depression. So what it does to your body: sweating, headache, chest pain, stomach. Okay, this is anxiety. What it does to your mind: worry, foggy, all these different things. What it does to different behaviors, meaning you're compulsive, insomnia, social. What it does to your emotions: you're irritable, you're fearful, you're overwhelmed, you have low confidence, you're on edge, you're nervous. So here's the point that I am with this impact of anxiety, with this wheel, because the same is true with depression. So when you look at this, all these different words, is there a word that you're like, oh yeah, I'm that's me. That's what's happening? Because sometimes we just got to put words to whatever it is. And when we can put a word to what we're feeling, and you can Google like depression wheel, anxiety wheel, and it'll pop up so that you're able to really see what you're feeling. For me, when I feel depressed, when I know something is going on, just like when a pimple pops up, I'm like, something's going on. When I've got the boo-boo gut, I'm like, something's going on. And so what do? I do something for it. I get medicine. I put something on it. The same is true with depression. For me, when I start feeling depressed, it is I know what it feels like. It is sad. I breathe deeply. I'm taking a lot of deep breaths. I don't like to do a lot of things. I don't want to be around people. I hide from people. I don't call people back. I just go into a cocoon in a cage, and I know what that's like. And depression is lying to you. Write that down. Remember that. Depression is lying to you. And what do I mean with that? I mean this. Depression is telling you that you don't feel like doing the things that you do. That's literally what it is lying to you about. It's saying you can't do what you want to do. You can't do it. And that's a lie. Like with depression, a lot of people wake up in the morning like, dadgummit, I woke up again. And you didn't want to wake up. And I hate that. I've been there. So here's some tricks, because if depression is lying to you, then how do we deal with it? And that's something I always want to do whenever I'm meeting with my clients and they're talking to me, or I'm doing a live stream. And I don't just want to talk at you, and I don't want to just, you do all the talking. I want to give you something that you can walk away with, and hopefully you can help you or a loved one. Something that I do, and I learned this from Mel Robbins, is to get out of bed whenever you're feeling depressed, or to do anything when you feel like, I don't want to do it, or I can't do it. Here's a trick, because you've got to trick your prefrontal cortex, which is in your brain, that it is go time, and it is exciting, and this is a great thing. You've got to trick your brain. So how do you do that? How do you trick your brain when you are feeling sad, depressed, and all the things, and you don't have any want to? Here's what you can do. You can count down from 10 to 1. So you're laying in bed, you don't want to get up, you're feeling all the things. Here's what you can do. Count down from 10, 10, 9, and you count all the way down to 1. And then when you hit 1, I want you to launch out of that space that you're in, okay? If you're in your bed, if you're at work, if you're in your car, you don't want to get out. if you know that you need to finish a project, man, and you just keep putting it off and all the things, and your brain is telling you, yeah, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. What I want you to do is count down from 10 to 1. And then as you're counting down, and let's say you're about to have a meeting with your boss and you're super anxious about it, and it's actually been causing you some depressed feelings, and you just can't. You're just so nervous about it, and you feel like you have to have this conversation with your boss, with a friend, or whatever the moment is for you. Think about this. Count down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe you can start at 20, a little longer. That's okay. And then at 1, I want you to think about a positive result that comes from you getting out of bed, or a positive result that'll come from you talking to your boss. For example, think about this. You count down to 1, and then you think of something positive, like an anchor for yourself. And you think, you know what? Me getting out of bed felt good. But you're still in bed. But that thought is, it felt good. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of myself. High five. You did it. And that's okay to be proud of yourself. You should be proud of yourself. That's a big step if you're depressed. Or if you're like, man, I keep spinning this whole thing. I can't get out of it. My mind is getting me down. So count down, 10 to 1. You're about to go talk to your boss. You don't want to. 10 to 1. And think this anchor thought. An anchor thought is going to trick your prefrontal cortex, and the anchor thought is going to say to this about you meeting with your boss. Man, how proud of you you're going to be because you did it. Or what you're going to tell your spouse and the amazing outcome that came from it. And just those steps that you took. I mean, those are wins, because a lot of times we go to the negative, like, oh man, I have all this to go on today. I have, if this does this, and we just kind of cycle in our negativity in our mind, and it's just hard. But we've got to stop that thinking, count down, replace it with positive. And now some people are like, Michael, you count down and pray. You should count down and pray. Well, most Christians who are struggling with depression have been praying. And I hear you. I get it. That is a great idea. And you should always be praying. Not just praying whenever you're down, not just praying whenever you're happy. You should be in a continual relationship with the Lord and praying. But for someone that is so depressed and they are a Christian, and yes, you can be a Christian and be depressed. Just look at Elijah. There's a lot of, look in the Bible. David, people struggled. Real life humans. And so count down. Yes, you can pray. Yes, you have people praying for you. When you count down, change that thought to something positive, and get up and go. Get up and go. That's why I always say, let's go. Because let's go. We got to go. We got to change it up. Because my mind has been tricking me. My brain is tricking me that it thinks I don't feel like doing anything. And some days, by the way, sometimes you just need to do nothing. Because maybe for some of you, you've been working way too hard and going way too strong for a long time, and maybe you just need a break. Maybe you need a break. So how do we continue to get out of this depression? You need to move. You're like, I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. You're a runner. Look, I am a runner because I run. But the reason that I run is for this reason. The reason that I move every single day is because I don't like being depressed. I literally move to live. I have to. If I don't move my body, if I don't walk, if I don't run, if I don't exercise in some way, man, I'm telling you, I know what happens. I feel like I have lost, and my brain loves that feeling. But when we move, check this out. When we move our bodies, running, walking, whatever that is, just for maybe 10 minutes, because remember, depression tells you don't feel like it. You don't feel like moving. You know, all these things come up because your brain knows if you start moving, the enemy knows when you start moving, what happens is that bilateral movement of you moving is telling your brain, oh, I'm recovering. Great things are happening. This is a good thing. You know, that runner's high or even a walker's high or when you work out, that's your brain saying, yes, come on. And so that is my encouragement. When you feel stuck, you feel down, you feel depressed, man, turn off the social medias, turn off all the things, go outside no matter what the weather is, and just go on a little walk. And maybe that's walking to your mailbox and walking back. Awesome. The next day, go a little bit further. And that's how I coach the people that I get to work with, is those small steps, because those small next steps that you take in your recovery add up over time. You're making those deposits into your life. You're making those daily deposits in your life, those small steps that add up to massive results. I just did a video about that on YouTube. You can go and check it out. And man, there's some verses I'd love for you to write down. The verse Psalm 34:17-18, which says this: "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." And I want you to remember that today. Are you crushed in spirit today? Or maybe someone that you love is crushed in spirit. I want you to know that the Lord is close to them. When I was in my deepest, darkest hellhole, and I did not know that there was light, I did not even think there was going to be light. I did not know that I was going to be helping people who have experienced trauma to find hope. I didn't know that at that time, and now I am. I didn't know. But here's what I do know, is that the Lord was so close to me. I didn't think at that time, but now I see it more than ever. You know, another way to really help with depression and sadness is, man, who's your community? Are you a part of a community that loves you? Are you part of a community that you can share life with? I encourage you, if not, I'm sure you are. I'm sure there is some sort of community around you, but maybe you're afraid to reach out to them and say, man, can we just go grab some coffee? Can we just go to lunch? Can you come over to my house? I know for me, I've called people and said, man, can you just come over? This sucks. Because people want to help, and truly by you reaching out may help somebody else more than you know, because they've been wanting to, or they didn't know what to do. And maybe you're part of a small group at your church. Man, let that small group know. Let that leader know you're struggling. Man, they want to know. They want to pray for you. Man, let a pastor know. Man, I'm struggling. You can let me know. You can let me know. Man, I'm really struggling, and I would love to help. Don't struggle alone. That's what the enemy wants, is for you to be alone. Galatians 6:2 says this: "Carry each other's burdens. In this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ." Man, you're not made to do life alone and to carry this weight on your own. And I know it feels like you're by yourself and you're alone. Man, you're not. The Lord is with you, and you've got people around you that love you. And you're like, man, Michael, I don't have anybody. Let's get on the phone, and I'm sure we can find somebody. And if you don't, I can be that somebody, and I'll connect you with somebody else. And so you're not alone. And man, I don't know how that hit today. I hope that was an encouragement to you. If not, that's okay. If you're like, man, that's not where I am, that's great. Praise the Lord. Man, I'm just so thankful for this little community that I believe God is putting together. I love going live. I try to go live every Tuesday and Thursday. I like to have guests, and man, this past week was amazing with Andrea. I encourage you to go watch it. And if you would like to work with me, if you're interested in some coaching, some Christian life coaching, man, let's talk. I would love to get to know you. I would love to help you take the next steps in your life to truly, maybe that's for you to find hope. Maybe that's for you just to have someone to talk to. All of my clients get a 90-day devotional. There's different packages that I work with people in. One of those is $100 a month. And man, that is we work one-on-one, and there's also, you're part of my group coaching. If that's interesting to you, man, let me know. Would love to get you into that founders group of $99 a month. There's a little bit more intensive, which is I work with you every single week, one-on-one, and that is my ultimate package for 90 days. We text, we call, man, we do check-ins, and I help you reach the goals that you have for yourself. Or if you just need to talk to somebody, maybe need a referral of somebody else in your life, or you don't know how to deal with this, or maybe your marriage is falling apart. Man, let's connect, because I want you to know you're not alone. There's so many people that are even watching this right now, that are just like, they feel alone, and you know what? You know you're not. And thank you for those that are watching here, man. It means a lot. Please share this, and if I can do anything for you, let me know. Send me a message, and we'll see you next time here